Hello everybody. The next in our series of videos going through each of the classes in Shatterheart deals with the Outlaw class. Now the Outlaw class has evolved from what in the Ampersand game was originally the Thief class and then became the Rogue class, and somewhere along the lines it got removed from being a kind of specialist illegal skills specialist to becoming a half caster, half warrior. It's a bit of a mess, I think, than what the rogue class has become in Dungeons and Dragons. So in Shatterheart, we really wanted to go back to what was the essence of the class. The essence of the class being that they're on the fringes of society, and they work through cunning and guile and skill rather than brute force. So they can apply brutish force, of course, in short doses. Outlaws tend not to go for head-on combat. They tend to use subterfuge, dirty tricks, anything that would give them an edge in combat without having a head-on fight. Now, of course, in Dungeons and Dragons, a rogue is only really effective in combat if they can do a sneak attack. Most of the time they can't do a sneak attack, and it's a one shot usually, and then they're pretty weak in combat. Now, of course, the sneak attack is the core ability, and they should not be as strong in combat as warriors, for example, fighters. However, that clear weakness of once that one shot is out of the way is evident. If you look at Baldur's Gate, for example, then if you can get that sneak attack in, you've probably won an encounter. If not, then it's really difficult. Why bring Astarion on board in the team where you can bring a caster or whatever, or a barbarian? I don't think it has been viable. Now, there have been a number of changes in the Ampersand game over the years to make this class more viable. There is, I think it was introduced in 3rd edition that you could sneak attack in mainstream combat, even if your opponent wasn't off guard, to use the Pathfinder term, which is a good term, if you're attacking from the side and another person was attacking from the front. So effectively it was a distraction attack. It was a good addition to the game. Now, much fan requested through the Unearthed Arcana was this ability to sneak attack with ranged combat, which became the steady shot in the new player's handbook, which is a good addition to the game. So the Outlaw class in Shatterheart really builds on these evolutionary good changes. They're not the things that are broken. Things that are broken, I think, is that it doesn't have a wide enough range of sneaky, nasty, flavoursome options. And in terms of their background, the fact that the archetypal characteristics of the class, which I think Dungeons and Dragons have drifted away from, is that they are on the fringes of the law, that they are outlaws, and that is really how the class works in Shatterheart. So let's bring up the playbook and let's go through it. They've got quite an extensive playbook. It's probably one of my favourite classes, the Outlaw, simply because of the number of styles of play and type of character that you can create. Now, in terms of skills, they're trained as outlaw skills in stealth, porkers, or either persuasion or intimidation skill, and either streetwise, survival, or engineering. And they are your core outlaw skills in terms of the basic skills which level up with you. Outlaw skills are your specialist skills for your class, plus your basic skills from your list at level 1, which is the skills I've just mentioned, plus basic skills you get from your background in terms of your illegal trade. All just as clerics have a religious profession, outlaws have an illegal trade. And go through the list here of illegal trades. You have brigand, you have pirate, you have smuggler, cutpurse, thief. There's quite a really nice range of highwayman, assassin, mugger, fence, ruffian, scoundrel, reaver. Reaver is a horse thief, basically. Cat burglar. So it's a really nice, rich range of skills which allow you to specialise. Outlaws also get special language. Thieves can't, which is a mixture of words, jargon, hand signals, and graffiti, which allows you to hide messages in conversation. So let's go through the outlaw abilities. Now, the outlaw abilities, the starting abilities, are spread over levels 1 to 3, and you get to choose. And this simply because there's so many of them. So you have abilities, thieving abilities such as cut purse, pick locks, distracting tricks, lockpick, etc. Lay and disarm traps, dirty fighting. Let's have a look here. Create poison. You don't need a skill to use poison, but if you take that skill, you can create poison. Legerdemain. The whole magic system for the outlaws is based on prestidigitation. It's based on trickery. It's based on what today we will call stage magic. So you have little bundles of magic powder which they throw down, and they cast spells like hocus pocus or rabbit out of a hat or those kind of things. Very much based on trickery. Cunning abilities are the core of the outlaws' abilities. The main one is sneak attack, where you cause extra deadly damage. Deadly damage is damage to critical damage. Critical damage is deadly damage. So automatically, a successful sneak attack is automatically crit 1. So, double damage. Plus 1d6 plus escalation dice at levels 1 to 5. And at higher levels, again, something we took but adapted from Unearthed Arcana is like the smite ability. You can and anchorite abilities. You can trade the extra damage dice for a special ability such as the stun at higher levels. You're going to do that level 15 onwards. They have a luck ability. Luck ability is you have 1d6 luck points a day, and each time you spend a luck point, you can add 1d4 to a roll. Bend into the background is a skill where you can basically hide and sneak around. They also have these nasty fighting abilities, which are fun. Hoodwink is you fool your opponent, like behind you, or your trousers are falling down. Silent but deadly, you basically fart. Snark, you have a vicious put down. You're a bulldog eating porridge, which is a phrase from Shakespeare. Basically, you swear at your opponent, and you're next, my son. You've just defeated one enemy, and you intimidate the rest, saying, "You're next, you're next." So they are really fun abilities. They have a very wide range of fighting style abilities and combat abilities that you can spend an action point on in combat. Fighting style abilities, won't go through them all, but basically you can specialise. For example, you can specialise in thrown weapons like thrown daggers, where there's a skill like bullseye, where thrown and ranged weapons are at edge. You can specialise in ranged weapons. You can specialise in things like climbing with Ninja stealth is a good one, where where you can basically move pretty much silently. Pain point poker, learning the pain points, and you can add your target rather than brawn as your damage dice buff, which is probably very useful because you'll probably almost certainly have jock as your main ability rather than strength if you're going to be an effective outlaw. Um, there are certain, if you look at the specific combat abilities, get a nice range, many of which are unique to the outlaw, such as assassinate, which is a pre-roll ability. We get crit +1. Execute, where if you bloody an opponent, i.e. they're half of squish dice, you can again add a crit level. So if you add a pre-roll assassinate and a post-roll execute, you're really going to ramp up the damage. Makes them and they don't necessarily have to be sneak attacks. So this is making one of the ways in which one of the ways assassinate, you have to surprise. Execute, don't have to be in surprise. So there can be different circumstances where you can use them. Some of my favourite abilities are backflip, means you can disengage very easily, and cornered, where you basically crawl up a wall or a corner, backflip again behind an opponent, stab them in the back. So these are giving extra chances for undertaking sneak attacks. If you look at one of the nicest abilities is to be able to leap out from cover and shoot and then leap back into cover, because normally you can't do that because a shot is a 2 action and the move is 1, and you simply can't do that normally without that ability. The shot ends your turn and you're outside cover, although normally you can split your movement across before and after attack. You can't if it involves a shoot action. That's the exception. So this special ability enables you to do that. Let's find it here. Fast fire from cover. If you have +2 or greater jump, you can jump in or out for cover, shoot and leap back for 2 actions. Without this ability, it will be the end of your turn straight after you have shot. Okay, so I think you just need to clarify in the shoot action that the shoot action ends your turn unless you have that ability, because I think it's implicit in the rules, but let's make it implicit. One of the reasons for these deep dives is you really go through these abilities and you think, perhaps we need to clarify that. And in terms of leveling up, you get automatic abilities at level 4, and then every other level, and some of these are very powerful abilities. Favourite one is evasion, which means that when you have a repel roll, equivalent of a saving throw in the game, if you succeed, you do no damage rather than half. You basically get out of the way. And there's various abilities at different levels which enable you to intimidate, get out of trouble, sense your enemies, and they're really, really powerful sneak attacks. Level 20 is a capstone ability. Okay, that's been really interesting. Thank you very much. And the next episode we'll talk about paladins. Thank you very much.